Somebody's trying to get on.
Kimberly Grant.
And she called me about the acting chief position. I gave her some information today. Okay. All right. Are we ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Mayor and Council meeting of Monday, July 3rd, 2023. We are live and on Zoom. Clerk Bakura, please call the roll.
We have Mayor Hedrick, Deputy Mayor Depot, Councilor Norris, Councilor McCabe, Councilor Sheffield, and Councilor Piazza.
Councilor Carter is excused, and Finance Director Uhas is excused. Please stand and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, recognitions, awards, and memorials. Anything from the council? Okay. Receipt of citizens' petitions, comments. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak? Okay, we'll move on. We'll go past the response to citizens' petitions, comments. Approval of the minutes. I'll take a motion to approve the mayor and council meeting minutes of 6/20/2023.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting for 6/26/2023.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any correction to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Communications reports, Councilor Norris.
I attended the Freedom Dinner with NAACP last week, which was a great event. Also, thank you very much for responding to me last week regarding the booze on Baker's Cove, so we look forward to doing that. Couple of things also. Is it possible, or I don't know if this is the right venue, so we've had some separations within the past year from the city.
Okay,
Is it possible to get some type of summary on the people that have separated from
Sure.
the city and see if there was some type of theme, or is it they retired or just moved on for other jobs or something like that, just to see if there was a theme? So that was one thing. The other thing is, again, thank you very much for sending out those reports regarding Brantford Manor, because those seem to be very helpful in keeping track. But I was also wondering, is it possible that they have a end date in mind? Because they seem to be moving fairly quickly. And I only say that based on the percentage of apartments that have been worked on and completed.
Okay.
And then the last thing is, only because we're kind of getting into that season, if, I don't know if it's August or September, if the Registrar of Voters could give us some type of overview on her strategy on how the elections will be done in November.
okay, I can bring them in for the cow.
All right. And that was it, Your Honor.
Okay, Councilor McCabe.
Yes, the only thing I wanted to say was, this last Friday, the concert in the park, after 2 weeks of having them being canceled due to weather, we finally had a lovely concert in the park to kick off the summer. And I look forward to more. Are we going to be, do you know if they're gonna be making up those?
Yes, so the two concerts that they were postponed, they weren't canceled, so they'll be, we have rain dates, and we'll be
Okay.
posting those.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Sheffield?
Yes, I attended the NAACP dinner as well. It was a brilliant evening, very festive, and so proud of the people who were given awards. Specifically, start with Cornelius Rogers, Lieutenant Rogers, with his heroism regarding the accident on the bridge, and Pioneer Awards for Bobby Harris, and scholarship for Juliet's daughter Aaliyah, and again, Juliet, again, a wonderful job with handling the dinner. It was, as she always does, she does a great job. And I was honored to meet with Congressman Benny Thompson, a humble man. He is as advertised. He was a great speech and, so even-keeled. He's definitely a public servant that anyone should look up to. And he was outstanding. And thanking Johanna Hayes for coming. She made a great, inspiring speech as well. But I guess my favorite part of the night, besides all the awards, was the song by Charlene Baptiste, singing "Change Gonna Come" by Sam Cooke. And it's the first time I've ever heard a woman sing that song by Sam Cooke, and it was a thing of beauty. And Sam Cooke is one of my all-time favorite singers, and it's too bad that he died too soon, to where I never was able to enjoy his music growing up. But to learn about his music, his history, and I have some of his albums and stuff, it was special to hear that song. And it's something that's very important, what's happening right now in dealing with whether change will come. And that's something he wrote during the civil rights era, prior to his death. And it was very, very moving.
Mhm.
And that's all.
Thank you. Councilor Piazza?
Thank you. I did attend this past Friday, the concert in the park. Take It to the Bridge was jamming. It was good. And also did attend the NAACP banquet. And I will say that song, my daughter looked at me, she said, "Are you crying?" I said, "I am." I was like, she really moved me how she sang that. It just really, if you enveloped the whole evening and the theme and so forth, it was really amazing. And my daughter got to speak with Congresswoman Hayes. She's very personable and was willing to give my daughter some cues and information for her to look into for colleges and stuff. So she was very encouraging to my daughter. So I thank her for that. That's it.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Depot?
I also attended the NAACP dinner, and that's why I was going to comment under recognition awards and memorials about Captain Leto and our former officer, Bobby Harris. Both of them received awards from the NAACP, and just both of them, I think they both received the Pioneer Award for being at the forefront. Bobby Harris for the autism training that he did, not only here, but across the state. He did training with officers, how to deal with people with autism, which I think, I've heard from people in the community that that's been a great help to them. It was a great addition to our police force when he was here. And Captain Leto, who is our first female captain, and it was a good night, and I was happy to be there to celebrate the two of them specifically. And that's all.
Okay. City Clerk, anything?
No, nothing to
Okay.
report.
All right, yeah, I want to echo about the Freedom Dinner, and it was tremendous. And I agree with you about Benny Thompson. He was a terrific speaker. And congratulations to Captain Leto and to Bobby Harris. They were both instrumental. Well, actually, Captain's still instrumental, but Bobby was instrumental when he was here. He was one of the only ALEC-trained officers, and he traveled in this state and other states to provide training. He was also involved in the database that we have, that is a voluntary database where you can sign up people that are on the spectrum, so that when police go to an address, they can look it up to see if there's anybody on the spectrum there. And it talks about the cues and sensitivities and trigger points and those kind of things. And it is a tremendous asset in helping us to diffuse the situation and to calm the situation. And so that was tremendous. One thing I want to remind everybody about the parade tomorrow. So it's, if you look at Facebook on the town's website, I'm sure it'll be all over everybody's Facebook tomorrow, but they're going to make a call at 6:30 tomorrow morning to determine whether or not we're having the parade. But I'm thinking we're going to kick off the parade. Kicks off at 10 o'clock in the morning and goes until it's finished. Starts at Quantic Plain Park and goes to Drosdyke Drive where the post office is, and that's where it ends. All right, I'll get the rest of our voters here for the next committee of the whole. The special, maybe not for the special, but for the one for July. And then the Branford Manor, where we are on that, is we're currently in default on the tax incentive agreement, but all the deficiencies associated with Ledge Light Health District have been completed and verified that they're completed. All the deficiencies associated with the building department have been completed with the exception of one. Well, it's not true. It's completed. It has not been verified because we don't have access to the apartment. There was a woman that was very pregnant, so we couldn't get in. And now that she's had the baby, we're waiting on access so that we can go validate that those deficiencies are clear. And then there are 3 additional ones that were identified outside of the default that are on the list to be valid, to be validated that they're clear. So they don't have an end date, and the reason they're not putting out an end date is because every time they try to do end dates before, something come up and then they got poked in the eye. So they're working steady on it. I think I sent you information that told you how many air conditioners were installed, how many are left, the dehumidification units in the basements, all those kinds of things. So they are making steady progress. There was a recent article in the paper that Kimberly Drelick wrote about the current status. So I don't know if you saw that or not, but that identified the work that they're still doing. There's still some work that needs to be completed. People are not being put in hotels anymore. They have hospitality suites that they're putting them in. If they have to pull them out of their apartment in order to do the remediation. So that's where that is. So does that answer your question? Yes. Okay, good. All right, and I have nothing else. Committee referrals. Are there any committee referrals? Councilor McCabe.
Oh, no, I just had a question
on Okay.
that last statement you made, hospitality suites and non-property.
So what they have, in the very beginning, they didn't have any suites available, so they were putting them in hotels. And that was sometimes problematic, getting them in, getting them out, moving them around, those kind of things, stays. And so then what they started doing was getting units within the complex ready, and so they'll relocate them into a same unit, a 2-family or 3-family, whatever it is. That way they get to stay in the complex. The kids will get to stay here, it doesn't impact schools, those kind of things.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the dehumidifiers, is that something that they actually have to empty, or does it drain into, drain they actually have in the basement, or how does that work?
So these dehumidification systems are for the units that have basements. So the basements were separated, so what they've done is they've knocked the walls down in between. They have, it's a dehumidification unit that's, I don't know, it's huge. It's not like something you use in your individual house. And it is to keep the basement dry. And it's all tied together, and it drains into the gravity drain system going into the sewer so that it goes out that way. It is maintenance-free for the residents, but there's periodic maintenance that the maintenance staff is looking at. They also have moisture detectors that are on the ground so that if they get wetted, they go off, and that lets people know if we have water infiltration. The other thing that they did was they took the drains from the roofs and they tied them into the gravity drains so that now, instead of just discharging right there, they go into a gravity drain system that ties into the MS4, the stormwater drain system. So that should help with water infiltration as well. They've also put fans in all the bathrooms. I don't know if they're 100%, but they're close. And the fans are on all the time, and then when the light comes on, it goes to a higher speed. So all these are mitigation factors in order to try to get the humidity down, so that if your humidity's down, then you won't have the conditions to grow mold. They're also training the residents in how to identify surface mold or those kind of things and what they can do. And also they're improving communications with the residents so that the residents communicate to Brantford quicker. So did that answer your question?
Yes, I just had one other, because I had mentioned it probably about 4 months ago in reference to the tax incentive. I hadn't received any information personally on that. But so you had, I'm not sure if your words were exact, you said in default in tax incentives, but we're working on it. So, because I was asking it before, it was about 4 months ago, I had asked if there was an expiration on it, and how does it work in reference to this whole issue with Brantford Manor and maintenance and doing all the repairs and so forth and so on? How's that working?
Have I not just answered that?
I'm not sure. You said we were in default. and
Okay, ask me your question a different way. So the current situation is the town council and the city council have found Brantford Manor, related companies in default of the tax incentive agreement, period. Okay, and tying that, they were tied to a certain number of legislative deficiencies, and they were tied to a certain number of deficiencies associated with the building inspector. The deficiencies associated
Mine is not on, sorry.
The deficiencies associated with ledge light are all complete. The deficiencies associated with the building inspector are all complete, with the exception of one that has not been validated because of access. So does that answer your question?
Right, so just for that one that they're waiting on,
Yep,
tax incentive is on.
it's still on. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Counselor Sheffield?
Are the lawsuits still pending?
I
regarding
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, there was a lawsuit that was filed, but the city's not involved in that, and the city was not listed as a defendant, so I'm out of that. Do you have a question?
No, I was gonna call the point of order.
Okay, nope, got it. All right, we're gonna move on to new business. Since Linda's here, I would like to move Resolution R-23-7-72 to the first, move it to the first one. So Counselor Norris, if you could do that.
Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Kimball Incorporated, P.O. Box 203-558, Dallas, Texas, for the amount not to exceed $264,787.10 for Groton Utilities Phase 2 of City Works implementation to be paid from fiscal year 2024 electric non-bonded capital budget.
Yes, you do number 72.
Yeah, it was just long.
Did I,
Oh, you're so kind.
thank you for attending this meeting?
Can you turn your microphone on also?
Let's try that again for the folks at home that are watching this hour. 72, which, okay, therefore, be it resolved, resolution that the mayor and council amend the approved resolution 3-23-5-41 to change non-union employee handbook approved October 7th,
There's a typo, it should be 20, what's that, what's the right number for that? 2021?
2021, and amend the February 6, 2017 to non-union employee handbook for employees hired on or after 11/108, December 21, 2020, 2015, and amend February 6, 2017. I so move.
We have a motion and a second. Before we get started, I want to clarify this. Approved October 7th, what is the right year? It's not 2021. It's not approved in 21 and amended in 17. So what's the right,
The dates that I have,
It's probably 2013.
is it October 7th, 2013?
I have the dates as December 21st, 2015, and amended February
Yeah.
6th, 2017.
I got that, but to therefore be it resolved has another non-union handbook approved October 7th, 20, and a bunch of numbers. So that should be, and even in the main thing, it's wrong. So what is the right date so that we get this correct? I don't want to do this again.
So the one with the October date is the wrong one.
Well, I know, but what year date should that be?
December 21st.
So it should be October 7th, 2013?
Correct.
Okay, 2013, so we'll need to correct that in the resolution top and in the therefore be it resolved. Okay, so that is the motion that is moved and seconded. Who seconded that? Okay, are you okay with that change? Okay. Clerk, do you have that?
Motion to fix was from Deputy Mayor Debo.
Is a clerical error, you don't need
It's a clerical error. I was just validating that the motioner and the second are in agreement with what we want to change.
Yes.
Okay. So, we have a motion and a second. This has been discussed before. I brought Linda back because there was a question from Counselor Carter about the specific handbooks, and so we have corrected that. And so I wanted to bring Linda here so she could discuss it or answer any questions that you as a council may have. Are there any questions for Linda?
So the only thing we're approving at this point are the dates or names of the handbook.
Yes. Because it wasn't as clear as it could have been. The information the information is the same information. There were no changes to that.
Thank you.
Is that correct, Linda?
That's correct.
Okay.
Just the dates that changed.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you, Linda. Enjoy your vacation. Counselor McCabe, 23-7-65. Okay, you've had your turn. We need to let all the other counselors have their turn.
Okay, resolution R-23-7-65. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Trumbull Incorporated, P.O. Box 203558, Dallas, Texas, for an amount not to exceed $264,787.10 for Groton Utilities Phase 2 of City Works implementation to be paid from fiscal year 2024 electric non-bonded capital budget. I so move.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-23-7-66. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council accept and approve the policy governing the use of the municipal auditorium, and that resolution R-17-1-12 be rescinded upon approval. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Counselor Norris.
We received in the packet the actual conditions of use, and I would only ever request that more information be added in this. For example, there is a bullet point that says applicants shall be responsible for all casualties and/or damages ensuing from activity and will provide evidence of liability coverage before, but it doesn't say what kind of liability coverage they have or what the limits are. So I don't know if that would go in this.
Is there a question there? Is there, I'm not sure what are you looking, you want to further amend this, or do you want to amend that document?
No, what I'm doing is I'm just simply asking that administratively, if they could, are we approving or voting on administratively, it's moving from the clerk's office to Parks and Recreation? Because if that's all we're doing, I'm just simply saying that when that is done, that administratively, they look at the conditions of use and put more pertinent information in there.
Okay, the original intent was to change the oversight from the clerk position to the Parks and Rec Department. I'm not sure that the rest of the document was looked at with a fine-tooth comb to go through that. Or so you want to, all right, here's what we're gonna do.
All I'm saying is the document's
Committee
incomplete.
Yeah, that's where we're going. Okay, is that going to, well, is that going to stop you from voting tonight on this? Okay, then let's do a committee referral to Parks and Rec, or no, Beach and Parks. To thoroughly vet this resolution and see if there are any other changes on it. Counselor Norris, if you could send your question to me in an email, that way we make sure that I get your, what your concerns are, so that we can make sure that gets to the appropriate committee so they can look at it, and then get Parks and Rec staff to look at it as well. All right, let me start over. You had a question on this, so I'm going to refer it to Beach and Parks Committee, and then they can work with, either that, I can do that, or I can take it straight back to staff, but and you had a question about what should be in here or should not be in here. I'd like to get that clarified so that I'm not going on my interpretation of what you're saying. So if you could put that in an email, that way I can get it to the right, so I can get it to the committee and get it to staff so that we can work on this. Is that reasonable? Okay. All right, are there any other questions or comments on this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Counselor Sheffield?
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-23-7-67. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council accept a donation from William McGulowitz, 27 Kim Avenue, Uncasville, Connecticut, for a disc golf basket and disc in the amount of $535.00 for use at Washington Park. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Sheffield?
I guess just the term donation. It's a donation, but yet we're paying $535, so I wasn't sure if that's the,
Okay.
yeah,
So-
just a clarification, I guess.
So he gives us this bottle. This bottle's worth $5.
Yeah.
That, we have to put a value on that. So that's the value of that basket.
Okay.
When we looked it up, I don't know where she looked it up, but online, and that's the value of what this council is accepting.
Okay,
All donations have to be accepted by the council.
okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions regarding this resolution? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-23-7-68, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council accept the 2023 Farm Viability Grant Award in the amount of $5,000.00 to be utilized to promote the City of Groton's Farmers Market and match SNAP/EBT funds. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing, did you have, okay.
No, thank you.
Okay, okay, want to make sure. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor North, 69.
R-23-7-69, therefore be resolved that the mayor and council accept and approve contract with GZA Geo Environmental Incorporated, 35 Nutmeg Drive, Suite 325, Trumbull, Connecticut, for construction administration and construction inspection services of the Shore Avenue Seawall Reconstruction Project at a cost not to exceed $180,700.00, inclusive of 10% contingency to be paid from the State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Grant in Aid Award. I so move.
Second.
Go back and look at, say that number again,
Yeah.
please.
$180,070 and no cents.
Okay, got it.
What I said.
700 instead of 70.
Okay, we have a motion. Did we get a second? I didn't.
Second. Second.
Okay, so we seconded, okay. So we have a motion and a second. This was discussed at committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor McCabe.
Resolution R-23-7-70, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve the expenditure of $12,500.00 to the Thames River Heritage Park Foundation for the purposes of supporting the program year 2023 operating expenses of the Thames River Heritage Park water taxi. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed at the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-23-7-71, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the appointment of Patricia Lito as acting police chief for the city of Groton effective July 7th, 2023. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed at the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming out.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
I guess
If things hit.
and at 8:08.
You running out the door quick, huh?